If there is any image that can truly sum up how it is that England feel after the third test against India at Rajkot, it's the one you're seeing on your screen right now of Ben Stokes. So you can just see him standing out with his arms on either side as if to say, what exactly is going on here? This is the same England team who started the series so well, beat India on a pretty challenging track at Hyderabad to take a 1-0 lead, but have then lost back-to-back test matches at Vizag as well as at Rajkot, and are currently staring at a 2-1 series deficit in the 5-match test series. But let's focus entirely on the Rajkot test for now, because in the broader scheme of things, there's plenty to discuss about the series. But so bad was this particular loss that India put on England that it actually was in many ways almost historic for the English team in two ways. One of them being, of course, that this is the heaviest test loss that they have suffered in 90 years, and it is the second heaviest test defeat that the England team have ever suffered in the history of test cricket when it comes to runs scored. Again, remember, there are two ways to win it. It's dependent on the number of runs you lose by, or if you lose by wickets. Which one is it? Well, in this particular case, this is England's second biggest test loss in terms of runs when it comes to their history, the second biggest in 90 years, the biggest in fact they've had in that time period. So if you're looking at England's biggest test losses in terms of runs, they have, of course, the record is a 562 run loss against Australia at the Oval in 1934. That remains their biggest test loss. Then slotting in at second place, that 434 loss against India at Rajkot in 2024, of course talking about the test match that recently concluded. After that, they did lose by 425 runs to the West Indies at Manchester in 1976, then by 409 runs against Australia at Lord's in 1948, and the fifth heaviest being again 405 versus Australia at Lord's, this time in 2015. So as you can see, England have had their fair share of heavy losses when it comes to test cricket over the years, and that's true pretty much for every major test playing nation, because again, the contest can sometimes become a little lopsided. But as I said, history making in the worst way possible, heaviest defeat in 90 years, second heaviest defeat overall, and perhaps even worse for Ben Stokes, the first time that since 2023 that Ben Stokes and Bazball era England have lost back-to-back test matches. In the leadership of Ben Stokes, there's only been two occasions where England have gone on to lose back-to-back test matches. The first of those took place in 2023 when they were up against Australia in the Ashes. The second in this case takes place against India. Of course, they came back to win two test matches after that in the Ashes. Are they going to do something similar against Australia? Personally, I doubt, but stranger things have happened. But when we're talking about stats from this particular test match, it's also worth noting that this is in fact India's biggest ever victory margin in terms of runs against any opposition ever in the history of test cricket. In fact, see where exactly it ranks, and believe me when I say it's a big jump, because 434 runs versus Australia is what they got in this particular case, but they beat Australia at Rajkot. Then of course 372 runs against New Zealand in Mumbai. That was the other particular big win that they had, and in fact till today was the biggest ever win that they had recorded against any team in the history of test cricket. Then you got a 337 run loss against South Africa at New Delhi in 2015, 321 runs again versus New Zealand at Indore in 2016. That's the fourth biggest. And the fifth is, of course, a 320 run margin that they had against Australia at Mohali in 2008. So as I said, the jump here is pretty big, because to go from 372 to 434, that's a massive jump. It's nearly 70 runs, 68 runs to be precise. And in fact, it's pretty big when you're looking at the margin and how much it's jumped. But that's how dominant India was. So again, if you're looking at it in this sense, if you're someone who is interested in numbers, plenty of numbers to be seen here. England's second heaviest loss ever, heaviest loss in 90 years. India's biggest ever win in terms of tests, and the second time ever that under Ben Stokes' captaincy, England have lost back-to-back test matches. But that's the risk when it comes to Bazball, as it were. It can be spectacularly stunning and entertaining when it comes off. When it doesn't, it can often make you look foolish, such as losing back-to-back test matches against two other biggest test-playing nations in the world. So definitely it's safe to say that England not in a good place right now. Whether or not they can come back from this and bounce back in the test series, that's up for anyone's guess. But again, at this point, safe to say India are favourites thanks to this rather heavy and in many ways history-making loss for all of the wrong reasons that they inflicted on England. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can let us know by liking and sharing it with your friends, subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us also on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side though, it is goodbye.